Have you ever felt that quiet hum of exhaustion, a subtle weariness that whispers, "Is this all there is?" After years of diligently pouring yourself out, striving to meet expectations, to be everything for everyone? Perhaps you've experienced the sting of misunderstanding, the frustration of being underestimated, or the deep, unsettling feeling of vulnerability when the world, or even those closest to you, seemed capable of shaking your very foundations. You've likely watched as others, perhaps younger, less experienced, navigated life with an apparent ease, while you, with your trove of wisdom, still found yourself susceptible to the whims of circumstance, the sharp edges of others' careless words, or the relentless pull of external validation. It's a specific kind of internal tremor, isn't it? A tremor born not of weakness, but of a long history of investing deeply, of caring fiercely, of often putting others' needs before your own quiet sovereignty. You've built and rebuilt, given and given more, and somewhere along that journey, a subtle crack might have appeared, allowing doubt or disappointment to seep in. But what if I told you that moment, that feeling, is not a sign of fragility, but a profound invitation? An invitation to ascend to your true, unassailable power. It's a call to claim your throne of maturity, a dominion where no external force, no fleeting opinion, no unexpected setback can ever truly break you again. This isn't about becoming hardened or indifferent. It's about forging an inner fortress so robust, so strategically designed, that your peace becomes untouchable, your value undeniable, and your influence subtly yet profoundly absolute. This is the strategic view, a Machiavellian elegance applied not to conquering nations, but to mastering the only true territory that matters, yourself. It's a pragmatic stoicism that understands the chaos of the world exists, but refuses to allow it residence within your soul. This is the alchemy of a woman who has lived enough to understand that the ultimate power isn't in what she acquires or controls outside, but in what she cultivates and guards within. Let us dismantle, piece by piece, the illusion that you can be broken. The first pillar of your unshakable throne of maturity is what I call the alchemy of detachment. This is not indifference. It is a profound strategic non-attachment to external outcomes, and most importantly, to others' opinions of you. Think of a diamond. It is not made brittle by external pressures. Instead, the immense forces of nature that forge it only enhance its unparalleled strength and brilliance. It is utterly impervious to the whims of the outside world, shining with an inherent light that needs no external validation. Many women, especially those of us who have lived for decades, have been conditioned to seek approval, to smooth ruffled feathers, to present a pleasing facade. We learn early on that our value is often perceived through the lens of how well we perform these roles. We've been told, implicitly and explicitly, that being liked is a currency, that external validation is a measure of success. But this constant pursuit of external affirmation creates a devastating vulnerability. Each time you invest your emotional well-being in someone else's fleeting judgment, you hand them a key to your inner fortress. You give them the power to elevate you with a compliment or to dismantle you with a slight. The alchemy of detachment demands that you reclaim those keys. It is the realization that other people's perceptions are merely projections, reflections of their own inner landscapes, their own biases, their own unfulfilled desires. They are rarely, if ever, an accurate mirror of your intricate, evolving truth. When someone criticizes you, dismisses you, or misunderstands you, their words are not a declaration of your reality, but a window into theirs. They are speaking from their perspective, often burdened by their own insecurities, their own limited understanding, or their own agendas. To embrace this detachment means to observe these projections without internalizing them. Imagine yourself as a scientist observing a phenomenon. A person throws a ball, you watch its trajectory, its impact, but you don't believe the ball's motion is you. Similarly, when someone casts judgment, you observe the judgment, recognize it as a separate entity, and allow it to pass through your awareness without taking root. This requires a sophisticated internal framework, an unshakable belief in your own intrinsic worth, developed through years of quiet self-reflection and hard-won experience. It's the quiet understanding that your value is not up for debate, nor is it dependent on external consensus. This doesn't mean you become emotionally cold. On the contrary, by detaching from the need for others' approval, you free yourself to engage with genuine warmth and authenticity, unburdened by the fear of rejection. You can listen to feedback, discern its utility, and discard the rest, without it ever touching the core of who you are. The external chaos, the criticism, the gossip, the unfairness still exists, but your internal landscape remains serene, unmoved. You become like that still, deep lake. Its surface may ripple with the passing wind, but its depths remain profoundly undisturbed. The second pillar of your unshakable throne is the art of strategic silence. In a world that constantly demands explanation, justification, and immediate reaction, silence is not merely an absence of noise. It is a profound declaration of power. It is a shield, a weapon, a tool of unparalleled observation, and the very essence of regal presence. Consider the queen. She does not feel compelled to defend every decision, explain every motive, or fill every conversational void. Her power is often amplified by what she doesn't say. Her measured words, when they finally arrive, carry immense weight precisely because they are not wasted on trivialities. She listens more than she speaks, observing the subtle currents beneath the surface of interactions, allowing others to reveal their true intentions, their anxieties, their desperation, in the vacuum of her quietude. Many of us have been trained to fill silences, to prove our worth through verbal contributions, to explain ourselves away when challenged. We fear being misunderstood, so we over-communicate, sometimes to our detriment. We offer reasons, justifications, narratives that, instead of empowering us, often inadvertently expose our vulnerabilities or dilute our authority. This impulse to explain can be a profound self-sabotage, draining your energy and giving away strategic information. Strategic silence, however, reverses this dynamic. When you choose to remain silent in the face of accusation, or when you simply listen intently rather than interjecting, you force others to confront their own discomfort. You project an aura of self-possession and inner knowing that needs no validation. You allow their own words to echo back to them, often revealing their true nature more effectively than any counter-argument you could offer. It gives you the invaluable gift of time. Time to process, to strategize, to choose your response with surgical precision rather than emotional reaction. It also increases your perceived value. What is rare is precious. In a sea of constant chatter, the woman who speaks sparingly, but always with purpose and insight, becomes a magnetic force. Her words, when they finally emerge, command attention, for they are understood to be distilled wisdom, not reflexive noise. This is the Machiavellian aspect, understanding that withholding information, and even withholding immediate emotional reaction, is a potent form of control. You control the narrative by controlling your contribution to it. You control the energy by refusing to engage in frantic reciprocity. Practice the power of the pause. When challenged, do not immediately react. Breathe, observe, let the silence hang heavy. Watch how others squirm, how they try to fill it, how they inadvertently reveal their true selves. And then, if a response is truly necessary, deliver it with the precision of a master surgeon, not the frenzy of a cornered animal. This cultivated stillness, this elegant restraint, is a testament to an inner world so secure, so self-contained, that it needs no external affirmation to justify its existence. The third pillar, arguably the most foundational, is the Fortress of Self-Sufficiency, leading to absolute emotional sovereignty. This is not about being alone or aloof or denying the beauty of connection. It is about building an internal state where you are so profoundly complete within yourself that you need nothing from anyone to thrive, to feel whole, to define your worth. Any relationships you then choose to engage in become acts of expansion and shared joy, not desperate fulfillments of a void. Imagine a magnificent castle, centuries old, standing proudly on a high bluff. It is not impenetrable because it fears attack, but because its very design speaks of self-containment. Its walls are thick, its stores are ample, its internal mechanisms are finely tuned. It is a fortress, yes, but more than that, it is a self-sustaining ecosystem. Its treasures are internal, its resilience inherent. Similarly, your self-sufficiency is a state of being where your well-being, your happiness, your sense of purpose are all generated and sustained from within. For too long, women have been subtly, and not so subtly, conditioned to believe that their completeness lies outside themselves. It's in finding a partner, in having children, in fulfilling a prescribed role within society, in gaining approval from a boss or a community. While these external connections can bring immense joy and meaning, the fundamental error lies in mistaking them for the source of your completeness rather than expressions of it. This dependence creates a profound vulnerability, leaving you perpetually susceptible to the actions, choices, and even the mere presence or absence of others. Emotional sovereignty means that your inner state is your own creation. It is cultivated through intentional self-discovery, through facing your own shadow, through honoring your own needs and desires with unwavering resolve. It means taking absolute ownership of your emotional landscape, understanding that your feelings are responses to your interpretations and that you possess the agency to shift those interpretations. It's the profound liberation of realizing that you are your own primary resource. You are your own comfort. You are your own validation. You are your own best company. This extends beyond the emotional. It embraces intellectual independence, the relentless pursuit of knowledge for its own sake, the development of your own unique perspectives, the refusal to outsource your critical thinking. It even touches upon financial independence, the strategic accumulation of resources that affords you choices, autonomy, and freedom from compromise. When you know, deep in your bones, that you can stand on your own 2 feet, that you can navigate life's challenges with your own inner strength, the chains of expectation and subtle manipulation simply fall away. Consider the story of an exiled queen. Stripped of her crown, her lands, her court, she does not lament her lost power. Instead, she retreats, not in defeat, but in strategic withdrawal. She cultivates her inner resources. She builds new alliances based on mutual respect, not desperate need. She redefines her reign not by the size of her kingdom, but by the unwavering integrity of herself. She discovers that her true power was never in the crown, but in the spirit that wore it. When you operate from this place of radical self-sufficiency, your relationships transform. You no longer cling, you no longer subtly manipulate, you no longer seek to be filled by another. Instead, you offer connection from a place of abundance. You are a complete circle, choosing to intertwine with other complete circles, creating something richer and more complex than any fractured half could ever achieve. This is where true, unadulterated power resides, in the serene knowledge that you require nothing, yet choose everything. Finally, the 4th pillar supporting your throne is the unyielding will, channeled through a pragmatic, focused action. This isn't about passive acceptance or resignation. It's about the active, strategic shaping of your reality through disciplined effort and an unwavering focus on what is within your control. It's the marriage of stoic wisdom with Machiavellian execution. The world is a tempest. Life will inevitably throw storms your way, betrayals, losses, unforeseen reversals of fortune, the relentless march of time. The immature mind, and often the conditioned female mind, reacts to these storms with emotional upheaval, with pleas for external rescue, or with a descent into victimhood. But the woman on the throne knows better. She understands that while she cannot control the weather, she absolutely controls the integrity of her ship, her navigation, and her response to the turbulent seas. This unyielding will manifests in deliberate action, grounded in a clear-eyed assessment of reality. What can be changed? What must be accepted? And most importantly, what is your next strategic move? It is the quiet, relentless pursuit of your own agenda, a silent commitment to your values, your boundaries, and your long-term vision, regardless of external pressures or distractions. Consider the skilled sculptor. She doesn't bemoan the raw, unformed block of marble. She doesn't wish it were already a finished masterpiece. Instead, she sees the final form hidden within the stone and begins the arduous, systematic process of carving it out. Each strike of the chisel is intentional. Each removal of excess material, a deliberate choice. She understands that the masterpiece is not a spontaneous eruption, but the culmination of consistent, disciplined effort, guided by an unwavering vision. Your life, your inner world, your legacy, these are your blocks of marble. The unyielding will means showing up for yourself day after day, with quiet determination. It means setting boundaries with grace and firmness, understanding that your time and energy are precious, non-renewable resources. It means making difficult decisions, not based on fleeting emotions or the desire to please, but on strategic alignment with your deepest values and long-term goals. It means cultivating disciplined habits that fortify your mind, body, and spirit, building your inner resilience brick by intentional brick. When setbacks occur, and they will, the unyielding will does not falter. It pivots, it strategizes, it learns. It asks, what is within my control now? What is the most effective action I can take to move forward? It does not waste precious energy on lamenting what cannot be changed, but redirects all available force towards what can. This is the ultimate control, not the illusion of manipulating external events or people, but the profound, inarguable reality of controlling your response, your effort, and your direction. This cultivated self-mastery is what ultimately influences the environment around you. When you are unshakable, when your boundaries are clear, when your resolve is evident in your actions, the world begins to adjust to you. People learn how to treat you. Opportunities align with your clarified purpose. The chaos that once threatened to engulf you now simply swirls around the periphery, unable to penetrate the fortress you have meticulously built. Your quiet strength becomes a magnetic force, drawing respect and aligning circumstances in your favor, not because you demanded it, but because you embodied it. So, you see, the throne of maturity is not a comfortable armchair to recline in, waiting for life to bring you peace. It is an active, strategic construction, built with the bedrock of detachment, the finely honed tools of strategic silence, the self-sustaining architecture of emotional sovereignty, and the unwavering discipline of an unyielding will. It is a dominion where your inner peace is your most guarded treasure, and your self-control, your ultimate weapon. You have lived enough, learned enough, given enough. The time has come to reclaim every fragment of your power, to consolidate your essence, and to build this unassailable fortress within. No one can break you anymore, not because you are invulnerable to pain, but because your capacity to transmute that pain into power, to learn from every scar, and to rise with even greater resolve, has become your most formidable asset. This path is not for the faint of heart, nor for those content with superficial reassurances. It demands courage, introspection, and a relentless commitment to your own truth. But for the woman who has felt the silent exhaustion, the quiet fury, the yearning for an untouchable peace, it is the only path worth taking. Are you ready to claim your throne? Are you ready to join a growing sisterhood of women who are not just surviving, but strategically reigning over their own magnificent lives? This is more than a philosophy. It is a pact of resistance against anything that seeks to diminish you. It is an invitation to an unshakable sisterhood, building our fortresses, brick by intentional brick, together. The crown awaits. Will you wear it?